And we have gone live, and we have gone live early because our guest is that important. We want as much time as possible with him.
Early. At that.
So, but having said that, we're going to go off on a tangent immediately.
All right.
So
Good time to do it
Ro
when
and I,
nobody's here.
Ro and I are both judges for IBOR this year. So both of us have 3 books we have to read, and one of them advances to the semifinals. So since I actually bought the 3 books, I want credit for supporting indie authors. So we're going to get real quickly. My 3 books are Terminal, Morvolving, and the Aoshi's Gift. So those are my 3 books. And Ro is trying to pull his up to show everyone.
Once I figure out how this thing works.
If we thought about this earlier, we could have done a graphic, but you know,
we could.
That would have been prep work, and we famously do not do prep work. So
yeah, it would go so off brand if we started now.
Yeah. So are you ready, Ro, or should we actually talk to our guest?
Oh, hold on one second.
Okay, hold on.
He's used to sitting around waiting. Right? Oh, you know what? Let's just go. I'll figure this damn thing out later.
Okay.
I got 3 books too, and I'll tell you what they are next time.
Okay. So Chris Grooms, a repeat guest on our show, but I don't believe Ro was here last time. So welcome back to the show. Tell us, because we'll forget and we'll go on to tangents again. Tell us about your books now while we're thinking of them.
Well, I just, I'm getting ready to release my 4th book in the Tales of Guyane series. The first one was Legends of Black Hawk. I followed that up in 23 with Ripley's Keep, and right hot on its heels in 23 was Rise of the Archmage, which rounded out the trilogy. You can't be a fantasy author unless you do a trilogy. They kick you out of the club and they make fun of you. So I've got those boxes checked. The Wraith is the 4th book in the series. It's sort of a side companion. It runs concurrently with halfway through Ripley's Keep to the conclusion of Rise of the Archmage. Mike, we talked last time about our characters talking to us. This is a classic example of a character that just wouldn't leave me alone. Seth Blackhawk, Wolf's younger brother, kept pestering me, wouldn't leave me alone. I need my own story. I need my own story. Well, I just released it, and I hope it receives some good accolades. The cover and the maps were once again done by a high school friend of mine, Jamie McGregor, does excellent work. I love the cover on the Wraith. It captures exactly what I was looking for with this book. So I'm very pleased with it.
And when is it being released, Chris?
I'm going to do my first book signing, Ro, on the 21st of February here in Stafford County at Time and Space Comics. Kirk and Craig have been very good to me over the last year, promoting my books, and I wanted to launch it there. The next day, I will be in Caroline Square in Fredericksburg. They also have carried my books and have been very good to me. So I'm looking forward to getting that launch. I'll end the month of February at AuthorCon in Williamsburg with Scares That Cares. A good friend of mine, Cira Medeiros, and I will share a table at that weekend conference, and looking to get some good traction with the Wraith.
Awesome.
If you're up around, where do you live? Where are you calling?
I live in Stafford County, so just one exit north of Fredericksburg.
Oh, okay, so you're kind of like between Mike and I right now.
Yeah.
Yes, we're halfway between DC and Richmond.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll be coming down for drinks this weekend then. So.
I'll be going up, but yeah, you'll be going down.
Whatever, it's all doesn't matter. All right.
But welcome, Lucas Clay.
Oh yeah, I got to go to the comments here. So what gets you into this? I mean, you mentioned that you have your trilogy now, so you're on target as a fantasy writer, and you've got 4 books of a trilogy out, which is about right for the way we do things. What got you into it?
So I started writing D&D adventures for my sons and I to go through, and it was enjoyable. It was a good creative outlet for me. I've always enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. It's a great game, especially if you have an imagination where you can actually see what's going on in your mind. So I was writing those, and then, as your children do, they grow up, they move off to college, they get married and start their own lives. And I was left without a creative outlet. And so I started taking a look at what I had written. Wolf Blackhawk was kind of the genesis. He's a D&D character that I created in the 70s, 79, to play with some high school buddies. And it just kind of grew from there.
79, high school buddies. How old are you?
I'm pushing 60, Ro.
He's your age, Ro.
Oh, you've got to be older than that.
No, I'm not.
Oh, so you weren't actually in high school. You just had high school buddies.
I guess maybe it was maybe I should have said junior high school, because we started it would have been high school in 81, graduated in 84. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I had never explored his backstory, his beginnings. And so that gave me a good time to do that. As you know, with COVID hitting, everybody shutting down, I swore I wasn't going to waste that time, sitting in front of a television. So I started writing, and again, Ciro Medeiros came alongside and partnered with me to help me, form this book. And then I was really fortunate to get a good tribe of beta readers that are they cheer me on, but at the same time they're absolutely brutal when it comes to the stories and fixing the storylines and staying true to the characters.
That's awesome. If you can find folks that'll ride that line and tell you what you need to know and still be decent about it.
Yes, but it is. You can say all you want that you have thick skin. But when you put yourself out there in this book and it comes back and there's more red on it than there was in the pen when it started. Yeah, it's a little hard to take sometimes, but it's worth it because it makes you a better writer.
Now, I'm going to take a leap here, and not just because Mike told me, but your haircut kind of gives it away. That how long have you been out?
Let's see. This is a 26. I've been out 18 years.
How long were you in?
20.
Okay. And you're still keeping that haircut?
Yes. I do not look. Long hair makes my nose look even bigger than it is.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now, I am contractually obligated per Air Force regulations to ask you what your favorite color of crayon is.
That's just... So my son, my youngest son, made that comment to me one time, and I said, you know what? I don't remember in the 20 years that I wore the cloth of my nation, did I ever hear that term about eating crayons? So I'm gonna pitch this back to you and let you know that as far as intellect, the Marine Corps is right there with the Air Force compared to the other two services. We're right there with you.
It's cute that you think that. That's not.
No, we know it.
Oh, this is great. I need popcorn.
Hey, it's okay because Mike's brother Dan comes in the thing every now and then, and he was in the Navy, so we can shit on him when he gets here.
Oh no! We'll never do that. I will not let any other service pick on the Navy but me. Love those guys. They took me everywhere. Their corpsmen were great. Never. You can't pick on the Navy.
All right.
So the Navy is basically chaperones, is what you're saying?
No. We were the men's department of the Navy, but we love them.
They're Uber. The Marine Uber. All right. So now, I know I asked it, and you kind of answered it, but you didn't. I don't think you actually did. What day does the Wraith come out?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say it comes out on the 21st of February.
21st. Okay. All
yeah.
Right. But you've already got it's already up on Goodreads to review.
No, I haven't used that. I haven't put that out there to use.
It's there. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I've been asked to use it in the past. I just haven't done it.
Well,
So Amazon bought Goodreads. So if your book is on Amazon, it's going to be on Goodreads.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
There's the link to it over in the chat. There's the link to your Goodreads page for the Wraith. So
you can read some.
It's already there. You didn't even have to do it. You didn't have to mess with that nonsense.
Okay.
So,
good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, the reviews. They could be. Make sure you have thick skin if you're going to go there and read the reviews.
Yes, my skin is pretty thick right now.
Yeah, it kind of has to be if you've written more than one book.
Yes,
I'm happy for any damn review. I don't even care.
Yeah,
I just
there's a reason why it took over 2 years to publish The Wraith. So,
so you had that long between books?
It did. I actually after 3 of my beta readers got done with it, it was almost completely rewritten.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's the word I'm looking for?
Brutal. It was.
Yeah. That's kind of it. That would, I don't know, that kind of thing. If I had to totally rewrite one based on what someone else said, I might just give up.
You know what though, I guess as I read through the comments and I looked at what I'd written, it made sense. When somebody tells you that they skipped ahead in your manuscript because it was boring, you've got to cut. You've got to cut out that that part and put it forced me to really buckle down and be a better writer than what I was doing. And I appreciate it. It was a long process. I'm glad I got through it, but it was worth every single rewrite. My own editing process is excruciating. I labor over a single word as I review a sentence, as I review a paragraph. Just try to find the right way to convey what I'm trying to say.
Now, you said you have a group of beta readers?
I do.
So it's even more so if one person says this section is boring and you've got 10 people, you can kind of go, yeah, that's you, right? But I guess if you have a big group of people and several of them are saying, hey, this is boring, then you really have to listen to that.
Yeah, I do. And so I did. I took what they said to heart and really focused in and concentrated on those sections of the book that needed some work. The book has a really great villain in it. And, when one of your comments comes back is, one of your best characters in the entire book disappears, for, 6, 7, 8 chapters, what are we left to think? What are we left to do? So really had to go back in and take a look at that. And that it was worth it. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad they beat me up the way they did.
So how did you fix it? Did you just bring that character in more? Or did you make him less likable so that they wouldn't?
No, I actually went back and really dove into the areas where I thought I could bring him back in and really focus him on what he was doing. And then there were certain places where he had to go away, but brought him back in. And so, but I needed him to be more prevalent than what he was, and it worked. I'm satisfied with the final product of what I'm getting ready to publish.
And that was the villain character?
Yes.
That's tough when everybody really relates to the villain, because especially if they're going to lose, and they're going to lose, but they're a kind of a fan favorite, if you will, character. Because he's probably my second or probably my third favorite character in the entire book. I really like the way he turned out. So how do you make an ending then because I mean, the good guy wins, right? Your hero of your story wins, I assume. So how do you do it where you're not killing or permanently deleting a character that not only you like to write, but people who read the book really enjoy as a character?
I think that is one of the things that my youngest son, who is probably one of my biggest fans, but also one of my harshest critics. He gets frustrated with me because I tend to kill off characters. I kill off popular characters, and I killed off a character in Ripley's Keep that he still hasn't forgiven me for. But it's the same thing here. The villain in this story had run his course. I don't know how I would use him beyond this storyline. So it made sense for me to have him, do his damage, and then, have that epic battle at the end where good prevails over evil.
So how long are your books, roughly?
This one, The Wraith, came in at over 204,000 words.
Wow.
How many? What kind of page count you got there?
It was about 667 pages.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. See, so my book, my latest, is only 140 pages.
16 minutes.
Well, so I want to throw this out there too. So my sister-in-law is one of my beta readers, and she loves details. And so she wants to see details. And, when I say that they sat down and ate, she wants to know, what did they eat? What did they drink? So I want to include that kind of detail. But one of the things that I enjoyed about this book, more so than the other three that I've written, is I think I hit my stride as a writer, and I was able to really go back in and nation build the Black Hawk territory that I probably should have done in the first book that I did, but I didn't know enough then. My first book came in at about 101, 102,000 words. So it pales in size. But this one really allowed me to do a lot of nation building, which I enjoyed. It helped me to create this area that our characters were spending so much time in.
So do you have this all plotted out somewhere, nice and organized, or do you just kind of wing it?
I know the endings. And so I kind of work backwards from there. What was one of those lessons they taught us, to backwards plan? Yeah. So I kind of do that with my writing. I'm working on another sort of side novel right now. I'm receiving the results back from my beta readers. She also disappeared halfway through Ripley's Keep and ends around the end of the Rise of the Archmage. Her book is going to be Maria Blackhawk, Queen of Beth Amin. And so I'm going to tell her story. I'm struggling with her story right now because I don't know if I've clearly defined what the end state of the book is going to be and how I'm going to get there. So I'm kind of pumping the brakes on her for a little bit, take a break and try to clear my head and get back into writing her story.
So all four of your books right now are in the same world?
Yes, sir. They are.
But are they like two separate series, or how long is this going to go?
So what my vision is once I get Maria done, and hopefully I will have her done and published in 26 as well. I would like to start another trilogy. I've got some ideas. I have some D&D adventures that I wrote for my sons and I to go through that I can use as templates for it, to at least get the initial story down and then fill in the rest of the plot lines as I move through. We had some really good characters that I'd like to bring to life. They've seen the light of day in some of the earlier books, but I would really like to bring them more out into the open and really explore them. I love pirates. I love everything piratey. So I want to do some more with pirates and marauders and that type of stuff.
Nice.
So not the same world then?
Oh, yes. It'll be the same world.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the same world. And the main six characters from Rise of the Archmage, Wolf, Naphtali, Rowan, Danny, and Tralderon, and Matthew, they'll be the six heroes in those books moving forward as well. I want to keep them together as a team as they adventure through, other parts of the Southern Realms and other parts of Guyenne.
Tralderon?
Yes, sir.
Danny.
Say again?
Calderon, and Danny.
Yes, sir.
It's one of those things that I guess it works, right? But I could write for another 20 years and I would never think of putting those two names together but it's so much easier to pronounce and write, I guess, than trying to, it's like, okay, how did I freaking spell that name again, and having to have notes around. It's like, I put a lot of G's and K's and shit like that in there, and I don't know where I is anymore.
Right. No,
I
Danny,
like H's.
Yeah, Danny was Danny. His real name is Daniel, but my oldest son created this half elf thief, and so he's funny. He comes from the poor side of the tracks. Anyway, he's a fun character to write, and my son really played him well. And I tried to take his personality and inject him into this character, and so that's why you get this Danny Vice. Some of the other lofty names that you see within the stories.
So do your sons read this before you publish it and say, no, Danny wouldn't do this. This is not.
So I actually do that. If I come up on some questionable stuff that I'm writing and I think it's going to work, I will actually, talk to my oldest son. Hey, would Danny do this? And, kind of take what he says. Rowan was my youngest son's character. So I will say, hey, how would Rowan react in this situation? Just to give them some input into it. But again, ultimately, it's my book. I get the final say.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about that too is you could sit down if you're stuck at a part of your book, you can have the boys over and say, we're going to play a little D&D tonight. Here's your scenario. Go and just take notes.
Exactly. That's exactly right. No, I've got there is some really good dialogue between Rowan and Danny in Ripley's Keep that they helped me write. And it was a lot of fun to do that. It's nice. It's nice to sit down and of course you're laughing almost too hard as you're writing this dialogue. But it was a fun process to do. And I enjoyed those moments when we sat down to do that.
That's a good time if you can get your kids involved, no matter what their age is.
Right.
They sound like they're grown in their 20s or whatever.
Yeah, my youngest is late 20s. My oldest is in his early 30s.
Oh, holy shit. You started young. Well done, you. I waited way too long. So I will tell you this now. There is a recipe for butterbeer that you and your sons will love.
Okay.
It's butterscotch schnapps and vanilla vodka mixed 1-to-1 with cream soda and whipped cream. It's fantastic.
You completely lost me at whipped cream.
You don't have to have whipped cream.
That's That's got to be kind of an Air Force drink, right? Sort of those foo-foo fruity things that you guys like, right? Where we're slugging it out on the beaches, drinking grog and salt water. You guys are in your hotels with your fruity drinks. That's kind of how it works, right?
That's what they have in room service, man. They can do that kind of stuff for you. You're just jealous. I get it, You had that old ghost, from the Indiana Jones movies hovering over you the whole time going, you've chosen poorly. And I understand where that would make you bitter, and that's fine.
You all right, Mike?
Oh, this is great. I really should have made popcorn.
No, that's all good. I taught ROTC up at Norwich University for a few years. We had a young man come in once, and he was thinking about joining Air Force ROTC, and he said to me, well, I actually wanted to be a Marine. And I said, then take yourself down the hall and go talk to the Marines. Said, you do not want to wake up in 10 years and say, what if, right?
Right.
I said, go give it a try if you want to be a Marine, because God knows we need Marines.
Exactly right.
And if it doesn't work out for you, come on back.
There you go.
And he did. I never saw him again. So I hope it worked out for him. So yeah, I like picking on Marines, but I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I got a nephew who's currently a Marine right now.
Nice.
Been in for like 15, 16 years, something like that. So
nice.
Sorry, Mike.
No. Look. I always told people I knew I could not be in the military because they'd be like, "Dig a hole here." I'm like, "What size hole? Should it be round? Should it be oval? Maybe it should be, trapezoidal." And I'm like, I would never have made it through boot camp. So, it's just better that I didn't try.
Wow. You'd be surprised. Everybody said that about me too, and that's what kept me there. That first day, they said, "Anybody want to leave?" And like 2 dudes actually raised their hand. And I thought about it. It's like, no, that's just what people think is going to happen. I can't do that.
Oh well, yeah. If you tell me I can't do it, or then I will prove you wrong or die trying. But yeah,
There it is.
I
But
always
those
told
two guys
people.
that- 2 guys that raised their hand, they just hung out and picked up cigarette butts for 6 weeks, and then they put them on a bus home. So,
I always told people it's like bungee jumping. I don't want to do it, but if you say you're scared, you'd never do it. You're not man enough. I'm like, damn it, now I'm going to have to bungee jump.
it might
So,
not man enough to bungee jump.
hey, I jumped out of a plane. Well, actually, I let go of the strut and fell from the plane, but I did that. So,
So, have you ever thought about writing anything other than fantasy?
No, not right now. I haven't.
Still
I
in
haven't.
that honeymoon stage of fantasy writing?
I enjoy sci-fi. The Expanse series was excellent.
Awesome.
I loved every single book of those. I enjoy Frank Peretti. I enjoy his work. And I've really enjoyed lately John Grisham. But I don't have the breadth of research and the knowledge to do that. So the fantasy thing it's all in my head, and I can, as long as I stay true to my characters, true to the work, I can get away with almost anything.
Yep. So, Chris, I would recommend maybe write sci-fantasy.
Okay. All right, I'll try that.
In this book here, the 5 alien species are based on the 5 dogs that I've had.
Nice.
So, and all their
why does that not surprise me, Mike?
And all the idiosyncrasies my dogs had have become racial traits of their species. So, yeah.
Very nice.
So I'm not worried about. I'm like,
anyone's nuts yet, though, Mike. So when do we
no,
see
not
that
yet.
in the books?
Say again, sir?
Huh?
What was
Go
the
ahead.
question?
What's that, Chris?
What did you
what was
ask, bro? Your question?
What was my question?
Yeah.
I said, how come none of your species have sniffed around anyone's butt and nuts yet? Then, because that's what dogs do all the time.
So actually, one of the Dachshunds, I talked to a guy who actually has a couple of Dachshunds. He's like, have they tried to hump anyone's leg yet? Because that's what Dachshunds do. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you for that. That's going to go in my next book.
That's right. After these, yeah. Okay. Big question for you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
On your website, it says that you are a lover of D&D, which you've gotten to already, comic books, superhero movies, and Legos. So I have to ask you, what's your favorite Lego set that you own?
Oh, wow. I think the favorite one that we did with obviously it's the greatest toy ever invented. It's so good for your imagination. And I got both of my boys into Legos early. That was the one thing we would never say no to, books and Legos. But I think my favorite one that we ever built together was either the Millennium Falcon or one of the X-Wing versions. They were a lot of fun to build. We enjoyed the railroad sets as well, but those were probably my 3 favorites.
The big giant Millennium Falcon?
No, not the latest one. It was an earlier version that came out, I think, in the early 2000s.
Yeah, but was it still the big one, the UCS?
Yeah, it was good size. Yes.
Yeah, those are fun. My son and I built one of those. It just takes hours. Yeah. It takes multiple hours to take the damn things apart. Every now and then you see videos of people dropping them.
Right.
It makes me just kind of cringe a little bit. But so do you still, now that your kids are grown, you still get them?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, you need to go to a Lego store.
Oh, I was in one at the Miami airport 2 weeks ago, and I was blown away by all the different varieties of Legos they have these days.
When your wife goes into a shoe store or Ulta or some cosmetic shop, just look at her and say, "You dollar for dollar at the Lego store." You will want her to spend more. I guarantee
Exactly.
it.
Oh.
So who does your maps?
Jamie does. Jamie, the guy that does my covers, also does the maps.
Okay. Now, do you actually get? I'm looking at your maps right now on chrisgrooms.com. Do you actually get to all these places?
Oh, I don't know if I'll ever get to all those places. I think on the Southern Realms map, I would say at least 9 or 10 of those countries have been mentioned in the books in one way, shape, or another. I know that High Point was a focal point for Rise of the Archmage. They've spent a lot of time in the Borderlands. Beth Amin was a focus of the first 2 books. It'll be a focus for Queen of the Horse Tribes. Blackhawk has been prevalent throughout those. Same with the Crosteri Confederation. Evergreen, home of the elves, they've been prevalent. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if every country's been mentioned there, but maybe
you're
eventually
up in this northern section then.
Yeah, the Northern Dominions. I put those in there because those are some of the invaders that come down and invade the Southern Realms during this second rendition of the Goblin Wars.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice though that you do that. I get kind of trapped into the thing when I make a map of the people have to go to all of it, and I know that's not what should happen because they would just be traveling and they're walking and they're walking and they're walking.
Right.
So to have a map like that where you're kind of concentrated in one area and you've already built up all these other areas and how they connect to one another is kind of leave you a lot of room to play.
The Lord of the Rings did okay with all that walking.
They did, but that's because he was first.
Well,
yeah, right.
and you got to see Tom Bombadil along the way, which made the whole journey worthwhile.
That's true.
See?
Early on in the beta reading process, my mom is one of my beta readers too, and she kept coming back to me. I need a map. I need to know. You mentioned these places. I want to see where they are and help organize in my mind what what you're trying to do. And it was actually very easy to put those together. And I love the work that Jamie has done with the maps. I think they've turned out very well.
Did you write the book before you had a map?
No, actually I didn't. I had the map based off of old D&D adventures. Yep. So I just I adjusted some of the names of the countries, but kept some in place, and then used that when I went to Jamie with, hey, I would like to have you do this for me, and he did it. So
nice.
Yeah, I can't imagine writing a book without having a map in front of me.
Right, and actually for the Wraith, a lot of the action takes place in a river town called Turkeyfoot. And I actually drew a map of Turkeyfoot to help me organize my thoughts. The patrol routes, where the park was, the chow hall, those type of things, the stables, and the names of the streets. So I could have all that kind of straight in my mind as I wrote.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone would do that. You just kind of lose yourself. You start writing and you're going to all these places, and then to try to go back and have to reread that and then draw it out afterwards would just be such an enormous pain in the ass.
Well, let me ask you a question. For names, do you keep track of all the names that you use?
Yeah,
yep.
Pretty much.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, but I don't use names like like a normal name, so I would never reuse it again, because how I come up with names quite often is I will just mash the keys and then look in whatever group of letters that I just put on the page and kind of look for, a chunk of letters that make some kind of sense and then play with it until I can pronounce it.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, I've got to start using regular names. basically. My latest book, I've gone to more regular kind of names. But,
yeah, I do. I keep track of mine, and I also keep track of descriptions, so I don't mess up a scar or he had a patch over a right eye in the first book, but in the last book he had a patch over his left eye. To keep some of that straight.
I have to keep going back to that kind of stuff because I will forget that. It
Right.
would be, and that's where I think AI could actually be useful as an author. Not to publish it, but to have it as reference, right? To go in and say, I need a guy who's 6'2" with a scar down his face and stubble beard and blonde hair and whatever, right? And have it make you a picture of the person, so then you could have that as reference while you're writing.
Sure, no, that makes sense.
Not to use that photo or that image in the book or for anything else, but just to have it as something to keep in your mind, so you're not having to do what Mike does and roll through hundreds of lines of Excel files to find out where you put stuff.
So the one piece of advice I always give new authors is I will never tell you the color eyes of my characters because I don't care and I will not remember. And the only time I've broken that is I have a character, I haven't published a book yet, but her name is Lapis, for lapis lazuli. I'm like, that's blue. Therefore, she has blue eyes. So if I call someone Sable, they're going to have black eyes. It's just, it's going to be in their name, or else I'm not going to mention the eye color.
My first main character, she had one blue, one green, and I had to keep remembering which was which. I have to go all the way back to the first time. It's okay. Because heaven forbid you get that wrong. And then when the artist does it, you got to look at it and say, oh, blue eye is left, and make sure it's right. And God.
So Chris, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Question for you: is there anything that you did for your first book because it's got to be this way, and you're like, that was stupid. I wasted so much time on that, and it's just not important. Did anything like that happen to you?
I think as I mature as a writer, and I keep a copy of all three of my first books on my desk because I'm constantly going back and referencing timelines and characters and what happened in dialogue. But I don't have any regrets with the first book other than maybe someday possibly Mike could go back and maybe beef it up a little bit. But I'm resisting that because I was proud of it. I was proud of how it turned out. The cover on that book was spectacular. I get more compliments on the cover of that book than anything else. And then I liked the story, and I was pleased with how it turned out. Could it have been better? Absolutely. It could be 10 times better than it is. But I was pleased with how it turned out. So regrets, Mike? No, I don't have any regrets with it.
So I will take for my first book because I thought it would be neat because he had to finish by Samhain, his quest. So I actually put 89 days, and then I put it was the fourth dark day of whatever Celtic month. And I was like, this will be neat, show some authenticity and all. And what I did not realize was because I'm a stickler for these things. So once I went down that path, well, their months are lunar. So I couldn't just match it up with our calendar. And then Celts, their new day started at sundown. So as soon as the sun set, it was a new day. So I'm like, they're eating dinner. Oh my God, what time does the sun set in Bath, England in October? I don't know what day it is. And I had so much wasted crap doing that just to get the day right. And I've had over 150 reviews on Amazon and 180 or so on Goodreads, and not a single person has said, the dates, they were great. Not a single person has ever commented on that. And I literally spent 48 hours in total trying to make sure I got that right. And I no, if I change this, then the date, and I spent so much time, and it just doesn't matter. And so that's why I was like, not doing that again. So
I think that's one of those things people just kind of breeze over when they read.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you have an unintelligible name, readers would just make up something in their head whenever they see it, and they'll just kind of zoom right past it. might be a little annoying at first, but after a while, becomes Bert, you know, and off you go. You're not, nobody's sitting there with a pen tracking your freaking calendar to make, hey, you said it was Tuesday, but it was Thursday. Nobody's doing
I had a spreadsheet for that.
Yeah.
My first editor, she just retired this year. She came back to me and said, so my wife suggested in the first book, hey, you've got so many characters, give me a cast of characters. And I thought, well, I've never seen it like that. And so she showed me a copy of Debbie McComer's books, and she uses a cast of characters. And so I said, okay, well, if it works for Debbie, it can work for me. So maybe I'll end up on Hallmark someday. So I went through and I did that. And then so my editor came back to me and said, hey, why don't you tell people how you can spell this name or how you can pronounce this name. And so I did that. And it's kind of stuck with me through each time I do a cast of characters. I'll put how you pronounce the name phonetically or whatever you want to call it. But I thought it worked. The other thing, Mike, that I was laughing about with your story there is I will get a lot of folks that come up to the table and ask, what time frame is your book set in? And, I say, well, if it was, on Earth, I would say, late 1500s, maybe early 1600s. And they're satisfied with that answer. But I can remember going through my first book, Legends of Blackhawk, and there was a scene between Wolf and Seth in the barn, and Seth wants to hear a story that Wolf went through. And so Wolf pulls up a hay bale. Well, I started thinking, when were hay bales invented? Well, they weren't invented until the late 1870s. So I had to rewrite that scene, it was a stool instead of a hay bale. So those are the type of things that you want to be
saying on your world that they didn't invent twine, ahead of time.
They have to have twine because they have bow and arrow. So they have to have some sort of twine, but but anyway, it's one of those things that I'm conscious of, tall buildings, what was the tallest building in the late 1500s? Was it 3 stories, 4 stories, indoor plumbing, ice, that type of stuff. So I just want to be realistic in a fantasy setting, if that makes sense, because you can always just go, you know what, the dwarves built it. And a lot of times that's a satisfactory answer.
Just to match Mike here. So in this book, I actually have a little thing here of pronunciation.
Oh, nice.
For things like that. Because I have a couple of towns that end in B-A-Y that in this world they pronounce it B, right? Risen B, not Risen Bay. So I wanted to be sure that, that there were people had that. And people would ask me for that too before. It's like, can you put like a pronunciation guide? It's like, yeah, all right. Wow.
So in my latest book, I actually have pictures of my aliens before the chapters.
Fucking shameless, man. Absolutely shameless. All right. So what else you got coming up? You got this book coming out 21st of February.
Yes.
And then you're going to be working on the female lead.
Correct. It'll be Maria Blackhawk, Queen of Beth Amin, is going to be the next one. And then I'm really playing with the next book that directly follows Rise of the Archmage. I'm kind of playing with the idea of doing a series of vignettes, a series of maybe short stories that are interconnected with each other, that focus on the main characters of Rise of the Archmage. They all sort of go their separate ways at the end of Rise to do different things. And I thought it would be fun to explore what do they do when they go off. It would be very easy for, just to say that they all gather back together in High Point, a year later. well, what did they do during that year? I think it would be kind of fun to kind of play with that and see if I can't, stitch, maybe 9, 10, 11 short stories together that are cohesive, but yet all have sort of their own different plot lines.
I think people would really like that because, I mean, I know growing up reading Lord of the Rings and all that, I would have loved a short story of where the hell Gandalf went.
Right.
It's like that whole, I went off to see the necromancer. You went off to see it. I want to see that story. I don't care what Frodo and Sam are doing. They're just slogging through the swamp, right? It's boring as hell. Show me what Gandalf's been up to, So
and I like that too. And I think another fun thing to do at some point would be to go back and pick up some of these characters that maybe weren't major characters, but minor characters, and maybe do a short story on what they were doing. I've got a collection of Terry Brooks is probably my favorite author. I loved each one of the books that he wrote in the Shannara series, but he actually did a compilation of short stories based on some minor characters that people kept asking him, hey, what about this guy? What about this guy? And I really enjoyed that collection of short stories that he put together. And I think that would also be a fun project to do. Of course, he had, 24 novels from which to draw from. But again, I think that would be kind of fun to do.
It would be. And I think, especially coming from a D&D background, right? I mean, my book, which I'm not going to show, Mike, I'm just going to say my book.
You should show it. You should always show your book every chance you get.
I describe it kind of as in pretty much every D&D campaign, your group meets up at a pub or a tavern, right?
Right.
That's where the whole thing starts.
Right.
Well, this is a book-long meetup, right? You start with, your one character. They have a couple of friends. And along the way, during the story, they meet a couple more people. So at the end of the story, there's this group of them, and you have a wizard and a fighter and a thief and a priest, right?
Exactly.
And you set up the next story where now they're going to go out and do this thing. So that's how it's a book-long meetup.
No, and I think that's the classic D&D campaign. So,
absolutely.
So, friend of the show, E.L. Montague, he kind of did the same idea with his Heirs of a Flawed Creation, which is all the androids that are going to take place in a series, and then Adrift in the whatever is all the humans. And he's like, I wanted to know who my characters were before I start writing the series. So it's a collection of short stories and novellas about all these androids on one side, humans on the other, and it's going to start at the start of the third human-android system-wide war in the series. And this is like I want to know who my characters are so I don't spend 100 pages trying to figure it out. And so he's written everyone's backstories and published them, and it's great. I actually love it.
I think what Chris is looking at doing, though, especially if you take some of these more minor characters, and if you like the MCU, and it sounds like you do, this is exactly what the MCU did, right? They took some minor characters. I mean, Iron Man at best was a B-level character in Marvel Comics, at best, right? So they say, okay, we're going to take him, and now we're going to have him, his start expanding into some other people. But essentially, they took a lot of bit players and kind of pulled them together. And I think that would be a really fun idea. And it's a little bit shorter story. It's a little bit more accessible for people kind of getting into your world. But you'll find that over the course of doing a few of those, you will probably create other characters that they interacted with who will have some impact, if not on your story, then on the world building as a whole.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Yep. And also, if you do those side characters, they'll tend to be more like novellas, which are very quick and easy to write.
This is like too much even for you, man. So, hello, Rita. Welcome. I don't think I've seen your name on here before. Please ignore Mike. And
I did not know you could comment from X. So, hey, you learned something.
Somebody commented from X?
Yeah, Rita.
I didn't know we could do that.
See the little X there under her?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, didn't know that you could do that either. We learned something today. See, it's a successful day. We've learned something.
Well, call it done then. Don't want to learn too much. Yeah. So beyond that, is you're not going to try to do a different. Well, let me ask you this. Forget all that. How are you going about delivering or getting your books out into the world? Are you going to shows or anything, or are you just strictly doing it online?
No, I'm doing shows, and last year was really eye opening for me. We did. Have you heard of Strange Ways Brewery?
Yeah.
Okay. So they do a Saturday called Books and Brew. And we did one up here in Fredericksburg, and it was just a lights out event. We were busy all day long from the moment it opened until it closed. It was a fantastic event that they put on. The Fredericksburg Comic-Con is a good event for me. Stafford now has a Stafford Authors Fair that is put on by a local publishing. You did that one with me, Mike. That was an excellent show.
That was probably my most profitable show of the year.
Yes.
Because it was a free table. So yeah.
Right. It was fantastic and had an absolute blast. What I really appreciated at the end of the day, those that put it on came through and thanked you for being there and participating in it. So looking forward to that one. But there's some other shows that I will do throughout the year. I really like partnering with Cira Medeiros. She's been on the show before to do these book shows because we beta read for each other. We know each other's material. So if one steps away, the other can step in and say, hey, this is what this book is about. We really work well together, and I'm looking forward to this year working with her as well. But the shows, and I want to do more of them this year. I want to try to find ones that aren't as expensive and will have where you actually connect and sell books instead of just standing there, with your hands in your pocket for 6-7 hours.
So, Chris, have you ever done Big Lick Comic-Con?
No, where's that at?
So they have 4 shows now, 2 every year in Roanoke, but they have one Big Lick Nova, which was in Chantilly. Now it's going to be in Manassas. That is a decent show. I'm going there. I'm partnering with the wonderful Molly McCobb, who will be pulling people in like crazy to the booth. But it's actually the people who put on the Big Lick Comic-Cons. They're always well run. Highly recommend them.
Hey, Mike, shoot me their information so I can reach out to them and take a look at those.
Yeah.
So they're probably sold out by now for the Nova show, but I will send it to you anyway. You'll at least get on their mailing list for next time.
And Roanoke is not out of the realm of the possibility.
So the Roanoke
is actually like a 3-day show, right?
2-day, but it's every August and February.
Yeah.
Nova is at the end of the last weekend in May, and they just did a Greensboro, North Carolina show the first year that I went to, and they need to market that more because the crowd was just not there. It's also the first year for the show, but I'm not going to go back. I actually had Dave Dobson lives in Greensboro and said, hey, you can stay here for free. So I didn't have, and I barely paid for the booth, and I had no lodging cost.
A lot of that, though, Mike, is the first year of a show, because I did the first year Big Lick Nova, and it was nothing to write home about. But apparently now it's pretty good.
I will tell you, the Big Lick in Roanoke is apparently grown since you and I last did it. I did it.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. They actually filled out the entire main floor of the convention center. I was in the basement, and I was like so mad. I was like, who's going to come down to the basement? And it was my best Roanoke or Big Lick show ever. And I was like, okay, so now get my application in sooner, and I can get on the main floor instead of in the basement.
Yeah.
But yeah, they put on a great show, well organized. It's fairly cheap. For Roanoke, I think it's $65 for a table.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much to make your table back.
But some of the small shows actually do pretty well. I go to this show in North Carolina quite often. It's like $35, $50, something like that. It's a 1-day, 6 or 8 hours, whatever it is. But they've got consistent, and it's small, right? It's in like a community center gymnasium type of thing, right? So there's not a lot of people at it, but the folks who run it are just brilliant. You know, they bring you lunch and blah blah blah. But there's constant walkthrough, right? And there's people, they're not spending tons of money, right? But there's always somebody walking by. You don't have those like 2-hour periods where there's just nothing happening. So
And Chris, fun fact: the Fredericksburg show, I've been banned from.
Nice going, Mike.
Well, actually, the company who runs like 20 shows up and down the East Coast, I'm banned from all their shows. So
Very good.
I should blacklisted. I don't know if I'm banned. You know, I guess I could attend.
Yeah, say you're going to be there and not be there.
You know what? They got their money, so shut up. I didn't ask for my money back. I was like, well, that was money thrown away. Oh well.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing doing all the shows. Certainly, there's a lot of learning to be done, a lot of good networking to be done at those things. You see a lot of the same people over and over again. You'll get people who come up to you and they will have bought your book the previous year and asking what you have.
Right.
It's always nice when somebody comes up and every now and then you'll get these people that they just really. There's a lot of readers out there who really appreciate what we're doing as indie authors.
Yes.
And they'll come up and say, yeah, I'll take one of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, yes, please.
Yes. Yeah.
So I tell a story. This has only happened one time to me, but oh my God, I just feel like I'm 40 pounds lighter when I tell it. So all of my books I have here, I wrap them in the map with a wax seal for the hardbacks. And the guy and his wife came up and he's like, I really like these ones wrapped in the maps. And she looks and goes, but you'll never unwrap them, will you? He's like, no, probably not. He goes, okay, we'll buy all the hardbacks and all the paperbacks, buy all 4 books in both forms. And I'm like, oh, hallelujah, we need more people like you in this world. So I'm hoping for the next time when that happens, we're like, okay, we'll buy your book in both formats.
Right. Yeah.
You hit upon marketing gold there, Michael.
Yeah, it only happened once. But
how often does it have to happen?
Oh, I'd like it for every show, but I'm greedy that way. I like to tell people, buy my book.
For anybody still with us who hasn't been totally disgusted by Mike shoving his book in her face for the last hour, please do us a favor and hit the little thumbs up thing. Or if you want to hit the thumbs down, you can do that, but then leave a comment saying the thumbs down is for Mike overselling his book. And that would be great too, because you know what? Comments still register as engagement, and we'll take it because we're just whores like that. And if you haven't subscribed, do that too. Why not? If you're here at 57-minute mark, you may as well.
Clearly, you have nothing better to do.
The new season of Shoresy doesn't start until the 21st. So
I have no idea what that is.
Did you watch that, Chris?
Which one?
Shoresy?
No.
Oh, it's great. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
It's a Canadian. You ever see Letterkenny?
No.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, it's a hockey show.
Oh, okay.
It's really, really good. So anyway, that's my recommendation to you for that. So Chris,
okay.
Final thoughts?
No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate
this is where you hold up your book like Mike has been.
And so you like this.
So my copy is my copy has the not for sale resale tag on it.
So it's a collector's item.
Yeah, that's all right.
And see, it's funny you say that, Mike, because my youngest son has asked me each time that I do one of these that I get him a copy.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what do you want a copy of this for? It's not done. It's not final. He goes, it doesn't matter. I want a copy of the author's proof. And
I totally agree with him.
Yeah.
So
but no, that I still
rate.
can't get over how good that cover turned out. I'm just thrilled with it.
You can go buy that from the 21st.
21st, I will have plenty of copies on hand at Time and Space Comics. I think we're going to kick off at 11 and go till about 3 p.m.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So, and you can go check him out at chrisgrooms.com. Must be nice to have a name that anyone can spell really easily.
You'd be surprised how many times both names have been butchered. Yeah, forget the H, put the K, no. And then Grooms, it ends up without the S, with an E, with 2 S's. So.
Okay, well,
So, and we are back tomorrow night with another Rose random reading prompts.
Writing,
whatever. And then Thursday, we'll be here with an author with a great first name, Mike Cahoons, will join us. He has his first book out. Can't wait to talk to him because, again, great first name. We should probably have a Mike show.
We don't need a Mike show.
Then we can see how many times they can show their books, and we can have a contest.
Let's see. Do it again, Mike. Do it again. I dare you. All right. So, the Council of Tim does disagree. We do not need mics. The Tims have spoken. There will be no mics. But I can get a hold of a few Rosaires, believe it or not. None of them are writers aside from me, but how often would you get to see a few Rosaires all in one place? So.
It's even rare to see a book written by Rosaire that someone actually shows you.
I showed it earlier. I don't need to be like that, man.
Yes, your sales are so many that you don't want to be bothered by more.
I don't want to sell a book. Anyway. Chris, thank you very much for being here.
You.
Thank you for 20 years in the Marine Corps. Better you than me. That's all I got to say. I'm glad you did it. And what did you do, by the way?
I started off my career as a motor T officer, and then they forced us to become logisticians. But I also spent 10 years on recruiting duty, and I enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed anything else.
Yeah, that would be all right, I think.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You work now?
Oh yes, sir. I work as a consultant. I support the Marine Corps, so I enjoy that. That allows me to stay connected. To really the only life I've ever known.
Yeah. There's
so as we're getting ready to end, I have a very silly question to end on. When you're doing your live events, do you ever pull out the Marine voice and tell people you have to buy this book and start shouting at them?
No, I do not. That part of my life is done and over with, and don't need to see that anymore. So
okay.
See, you're not the guy at the VA then wearing your hat.
No, sir. No. I don't have a Marine Corps sticker on my vehicle or plates. Nope. I don't wear Marine Corps hats or T-shirts. I love my life. I loved it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But that's in the past.
I have one hat that I will wear occasionally when I wear a hat, but that's it. And yeah, none of the rest of this stuff.
Nope.
Boxes of stuff in a closet.
Nope. I'm proud of what I did, but that was a past life.
Yeah. Moving on. Good deal. All right. Chris, thank you very much. Everybody who's been here tonight, thank you again. Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 if you want to have 30 minutes of quiet writing time with a random, or tomorrow night, maybe not quite so random prompt. And cool. Good luck with your book there, Chris, and the whole series. Hope it goes well.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye, everyone wave awkwardly.